if we're,
Well,
if we're
you
streaming.
don't
I'm
have.
kidding.
Okay, I don't
I'm just,
know,
I'm just
bro.
messing with you.
Yeah, dude, I literally changed your name in my contacts at one point because I had to screenshot the messages because I don't know, you said something funny, and and I had to like change you back to the dude. So now you're back to the dude in my contacts.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But bro, I am so excited to share with you what I'm working on. I'm so excited for you to work with me on a couple of my projects. I have some ideas here that I think would be really cool to build together. But at first, I'd just love to know how you're doing. I see Jack joined as well as K Mac. What's good, gang? If you're welcome to come up, say hi. We're just vibing out. I am recording this and we are chatting a little fireside chat for one of my projects that I'm working on right now, the ZABAL Games. I'm doing a 3-month long build-a-thon, and we're going to be essentially doing workshops all through June, doing knowledge sharing as much as we can into an open build month in July, and then a curated build month in August for our final. So basically, the dude dash bribe. I am working on getting all of the different awesome individuals and builders here that are building things for other builders and want to explain essentially how to use their platform the way it was intended to be used, because I think that can be really powerful because a lot of people are using different platforms but maybe not knowing all of the things that they could do on it or all of the utilities that are there. But the goal is also to share all of the projects in the ZAO ecosystem. And when I am working actively on my prompt to share out on the last day of June - July 1st, the goal is that any individual with any harness, agentic coding harness that's out there, can point it at my URL that I post and say, hey, look at this. What might be the most interesting thing for me to build on top of this June? And then seeing something and then sharing hopefully that result. And if different people are getting similar results, one person immediately starts coding on it and pushing PRs to GitHub, that could really lead to coordination among multiple people here on Farcaster. And honestly, Space is released at the exact right time for this because I think there's a lot of value in like audio person to person, for information being shared rather than what it's been in the past, which is only kind of like text on the feed and it's more asynchronous than like the synchronous conversation. And I think those can be really powerful. So what's up with you, the dude? I'm curious what your thoughts of everything going on are, is like Farcaster, also what you're building. I think there's a lot of fun topics we can catch up on, but that's kind of what I'm doing. I would love to get like an official, workshop scheduled during this conversation, find a time, actually prep sharing it a little bit earlier and just talk about what you've built with Bribe, why you built it, and why it can be a tool for people coming over to Farcaster now.
Fuck yeah, dude. Well, thank you. Thanks for the whole conversation. You did say Jack. It's Jackie. There's the Q U
Thank you.
E
Yes,
at the
I
end.
felt like I was wrong. Jackie. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm sorry, Jackie. What's good, fam?
um. Yeah. So. Yeah. I've been working. I'm actually sitting on two unreleased Farcaster apps. Like one of them's done, and like I think 10 people tested it out. Jesse really liked Jesse from Coinbase really liked it on ETH Denver, and then I just never released it. And then I was checking out my GitHub repos the other night. I'm like, oh shit, I totally forgot about this. But I've been also working on a fun fact is the first mini app I wanted to make, like I went out to make, I just never made it. But I made it. I had a couple testers, but like I never released it. This was like a year ago maybe, and then I released 3 mini apps and then a couple full apps since then. And then now I'm back into my first mini app I wanted to make, and I'm like, last night I was about to release it, and I'm like, I'm too stoned. like I'll do this later. So I
That's
just went to
hilarious.
bed. I was like, either I was gonna release this project or I was gonna go to bed. So I
That's
decided to go to bed.
hilarious.
So I decided to go to bed. But I still also have to clank for the project. So that's a couple of steps. If you're down, anyone wants on this chat who wants to test it out, I'm down, and I'll let you guys in on it. Yeah.
That's dope. I
Uh,
think it's really interesting, like what you just said there. Actually, one of the things that I thought was the coolest thing about AI agentic coding, and a conversation I definitely want to have more of, is the like lost your GitHub repo and looked at it and found something that you had built from 3 months ago, and then putting the new model that's now 3 months newer at the task you were doing 3 months ago, because that like has like transform results. Like I created some stuff last year and I just like happened to be scrolling through my GitHub and being like, oh, hey, I forgot about this. I want to finish building this. And it was a lot quicker the second time around many months later.
dude, yeah, definitely. Yeah, like it took me like maybe 3 or 4 weeks to build Bribe, like from the ground up. uh, right now, I feel like it would like maybe like 1 day or 2 day it, and like not just because I have more skills about like coding and with AI and whatnot, but it's just more about like how much fucking faster AI is now, which is also like concerning because like we're still using more fucking tokens and like just like a
Yeah.
shit ton of more tokens. Like it really doesn't much matter to me much that it could. It's like, hey, we could do this much work, like 3 hours of work we used to do in like 2 minutes. But dude, you're like spending like 10x more the fucking tokens. So I just rather you not. I'm down for like the slower version.
Totally. Yeah. I think there's going to be pieces of one of the reasons I've really liked live streaming over the last year and a half is as we go into this more AI content generated world for like general content that people are seeing out on social media, people will want an outlet for like authentic interactions that aren't these like perfect posts that are out there, and these like well crafted, like technically perfect things that are out there and resources. People will want those like small things with imperfections, like a live stream where, if you make a mistake, it's out there, it's done. And I think that conversation of like, where can we, and we're in this more and more technologically advanced world, then where can we take a step back and ground ourselves, and where can we find more human to human connection, because like that was the whole point of the internet and social media. Well, not, yeah, social media specifically, but now we're at this point where there's a lot less human to human interaction.
Well, I mean, social media in the term of Facebook just came out because fucking Mark Zuckerberg wanted to get laid and wanted to rank the women in his in his class. So, not that I'm saying that's what we should be doing, but social media as its whole has its issues too.
1,000,000%. And I think they've only gotten worse since then, right? And I think that's honestly some of the promise of Web3 is like, what are we doing to rebuild the internet the way it should have been built in the first place? But because no one had done that before, mistakes were made. And now that we know some of these challenges are there, and we have the capacity and the resources to do something better, we're not working towards that is kind of like this. Okay, like, are you gonna just continue complaining and sitting in this space that is getting more and more dead internet theory, or are we going to do something about it? One of the coolest talks that I've heard in the last year was when I was out in ETH Boulder before ETH Denver. I was there for this 3-day hackathon, just short conversations, very like agentic coding oriented, and actually inspired me to code more. That was actually when I installed Claude Code. That was where I saw the bonfires tool, which we're using for the ZABAL games, a couple other ideas that I've had for like essentially expanding a 3-day hackathon into a 3-month hackathon. And when I was out there, shout out to Artisan, I was blessed to be able to go only because I stayed at an artist house because I was using Incented and I got picked to be there. I really leveled up my learning and understanding of how people were leveraging the tooling at that time. And Shaw Makes Magic made this unbelievable talk, which I'll try and find it and I'll put the YouTube in. But he basically said, like, in this, we're finally at the point in dead internet theory that it's actually possible to create your own filter in this algorithmic world of like what you want to see, what kind of content you want to see, and what you want to curate. And I think that just hit me really hard of like, okay, any artist, any musician, any non-technical individual technically has the resources out there to do something like that, but do they actually know how to do it? Well, do they have like the place for like mentorship and learning for when they do hit their head up against a wall and they need that like extra mushroom boost, right? Like of like just like Mario levels up, someone there to just give them that jolt. So yeah, I'm excited about the evolution of this coding stack and giving it to more people, especially creative people that haven't had the same resources in the past. And so my goal has been to help distribute and consolidate some of those resources as I'm learning personally, building in public and trying to be able to fix some of the mistakes that I'm making and also solve those problems for people to not have to even make those mistakes in the future.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's an awesome, um, goal. Yeah. Also, shout out to people downstairs listening. Nikki Sap just appeared. Habit Forming and Jackie and K Mac and Candy Toy Box, dude. We're so glad to love you guys here.
1,000,000%. It's a good time. We're very blessed. And I love Farcaster and being here and being able to see what other people are building, and then also that to be in so much alignment with where I'm at and what I'm building is, I think, the most powerful thing, because everyone's trying to kind of do something to make the world from their perspective a little bit better. And I think that's a super powerful place in this world of like finding aligned people that have goals and aspirations and dreams to improve. And I don't think that's that easy. In the world, sometimes finding that like group of individuals or community that will help push you forward. So one of the things we've been working on at the ZAO is learning more about social capital and what that means. And I think I've learned that a lot here being on Farcaster, using and leveraging the social graph. I'd love to know some of your thoughts on like the social graph side of Farcaster.
Oh, dude, I I fucking love Firecaster. But before getting into the social graph side and stuff, did you get the email from the Tezos Foundation saying that they're gonna start building on Blue Sky?
I did not. That's very interesting.
I know. I got the email and I was like, "Whoa, what?" Because I thought they would come build on Firecaster now that Quorum has Tezos wallets involved natively. But I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" So I have to go back into it and look into it, because last I checked, Blue Sky was like very heavy anti-crypto.
Very interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about their protocol, a little bit there. I'm realizing I didn't bring the groceries in from the car, so I'm going to need you to talk for a hot 2 to 3 minutes about how you feel about the Farcaster social graph, so I can pull those in.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude, do it. I mean, first of all, I'm smoking some Gorilla Glue number 4, which I got a couple days ago, and it's nice. It's a nice strain. I know I'm not here to talk about weed, but obviously having the social graph on Firecaster is great, because like you can, like, one of the games I built heavily relies on a leaderboard. and you could have like your own leaderboard based on like your friends who are also playing the game, and you could I just lost the game, but you could only do that on like a place that has a social graph, and the social graph is like released, like publicly, like callable, you know. So like if only like we had the social graph on Twitter, that shit would be fucking dope as fuck. And like it could be like we could have used it. Obviously not now because like maybe 5 years ago when the first NFT boom was happening, that shit would have been dope. But yeah, I mean, you guys have been on Firecaster for a long time. You know how it is. I didn't know how it was gonna be like the post acquisition, but you know, I like it. It's not bad. Still think some of the money Dan gave back to the investors could have been spent on Firecaster and the users and the proliferation of the protocol. Shout out Luciano. Um, yeah. So anyone also want to come up and I actually don't know if I can allow people up. Never mind. Um, I went to the library yesterday to print out some character sheets for Dungeons and Dragons,
Okay.
and then
Sorry. The libraries are dope. Continue. I am back though.
but yeah, I went down to like I was going back home and I went to the library because I had to print some like character sheets for Dungeons and Dragons.
Mhm.
And then I saw a cart that said like free books, like you can pick them up. And dude, I shit you not, there were two books on there that was inside my Amazon cart I was about
That's
to buy.
crazy.
And then I looked at the other fucking other books, and all of them like metaphysics, like meditation, like Shambhala Sancho. I'm like, holy shit. So I just picked all these up, and so I got like $2.25 in um, fucking printing, and almost $200.
Oh shoot, my bad. I might have just made you co-host and it muted it. Interesting. I might need to write that bug. Yeah, you're still muted. I don't know if you know that. But you're talking about leaderboards, and I'd love to talk more about Empire Builder because we've had great conversations with them. Damn, the co-host muted you hard. Oh, there we go. No. Oh.
Yeah, it muted me. And then it also made me like it muted me, it made me co-host, and then I couldn't unmute. I had to quit Firecaster and get back.
Very interesting.
Jackie's asking what I'm playing as my character. I have a level 3 elf druid. She's been raised with orcs, so like doesn't have any like elvish mannerisms or anything, and like knows orcish and shit. But she was also like heavily um she was like she was like very prejudiced against because she was a fucking elf living with orcs. What circle druid? I picked Circle of the Moon because I like shapeshifting, but I was also thinking maybe I should have done Circle of the Shepherd because Circle of the Shepherd druid, when you get to level 6, you can have you can literally have any animals that you have seen, and if your health goes down to 0, you could have like these animals come and heal you and beat up anyone who's like hurting you. So imagine you're like in the middle of battle and you're down, and then 4 motherfucking polar bears walks in and starts beating the shit out of the people who are hurting you and healing your party.
Dude, talking about D&D, have you heard of Dropout?
Yes, I have heard of
Have
Dropout.
you
Dropout's
seen?
dope, dude.
Yeah, have you seen Game Changer and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First off, they're pro. Sam Reich is pro password sharing, so I will always love him for that. You know, that's big money in this environment. B, I have like this crazy idea personally for me of like, I try not to idolize too many celebrities because of the challenges that comes with, right? There's a term for it, but there's two individuals that I really like what they talk about, not just their product, but like what they do with what they say. And one of them is Sam Reich from Game Changer, because he just does a phenomenal job of like being a host for his comedians. And I really like that. And I'm unbelievably interested in thinking about like Dropout TV as it is as a music series, media series and set of shows around like IP within a, group of individuals. But it's very interesting. And then the other guy's the Banana Ball, Savannah Bananas founder. But Nick E made it up. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
Crickets. Crickets. Funny, we have a new guy at work. Sorry, not the guy who stole my brownie, but like a completely new, different guy. And his name's Luke, but our lighting person kept on calling him Nick, so his new name is Nick.
That's hilarious. Well, we'll see if Nick can do it. But dude, Nick's been building cool stuff with Juke. He's supposedly up on the Juke space right now. This is why I'm excited for Farcaster Spaces more than anything, because I've been playing around with audio spaces for the last few months in many different capacities. And I had started working for FarHack on a project called Fish Bowls. When I saw what Nikki was doing with Juke, I had a conversation with him, tried out Juke, and I was like, why am I doing this? Like, Nick's doing an amazing job. Oh, perfect. Let's see. What's up, Nick?
Yo.
What's up? Are
Dude,
you in on Juke? That's awesome.
No, I'm not. I had to quit everything. I can't even believe I'm still on stage. I had to quit both apps. Everything went wrong. Man, that was so weird and funny. Like,
that's the beauty.
So I got the notification.
Yeah,
I got a notification, like obviously on Farcaster app, that you invited me on stage. I tapped that and it like put me on stage here on Farcaster.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still in the audience on Juke, but I couldn't unmute on Farcaster. And I couldn't touch anything. The whole app froze. The whole Farcaster app froze.
It's been doing that.
Close that.
I'm curious if you did it on the desktop, what would happen if you accepted it there instead of mobile? Because mobile's been having a lot of weird issues. But I've had some interesting luck with the desktop, because I think it's just like more RAM and more power, right? And I don't know what they're doing with the mobile app, but it's cool to see that you're listening in good from Juke. One of the things I was going to talk about and say is, in the process of tapping in with Nick and seeing what he's been doing with Juke, I started to transition what I was going to build in Fish Bowls and transition it to just ZAO spaces within my client that would just be run through Juke. So you could also see them in Juke and rock out over there. So being able to leverage one of the coolest things in Web3 as a whole, but more on Farcaster, I think, more than anywhere else, is the ability to build composable things that other people can build on top of. One of the things I also wanted to mention when I was gone was leaderboards. One of the presentations I want to give about the ZABAL Games as a whole is all of the different leaderboards I've built, whether they're like active now or inactive, and different things that I want to now build on top of that to like really merge these things together and be able to level them all up, and what the value in using some kind of data leverage point like that is. So I think building on top of what other people are doing is one of the coolest things for flourishing this ecosystem. Empire Builder does that with what they're doing on top of Clanker. I'm trying to do that with Nick, and both of those are being able to be added to distribution wise now that Farcaster also has audio spaces. So really excited to be here. I see a bunch of folks popped in, so appreciate you guys all for coming in. But what's up, Nick?
Yeah, dude, just hanging out, working on stuff. Partially working on Juke as well. I really wanted to. So this is what I love about Farcaster, right? I'm echoing what you just said. Love the composability and everything, permission lists and all that. So I wanted to enable, obviously, like unification of the audio spaces across from my client and the Farcaster client. The Farcaster client has a lot more people on it, clearly, and the spaces seem to be relatively well received and successful. So obviously, I wanted to have the same feature parity, even though we still have the same Juke features. So like you could actually record this space if you had started it from Juke, but it would still broadcast to the main Farcaster client. Obviously, there's yeah, for sure. Obviously, I'm still working out some bugs. Like I'm basically testing it in production right now, but it's you can listen, you can start a space, and it looks like there's probably some issues with promoting listeners and stuff like that into the speaker roles, but we'll work all that stuff out. The coolest part was I was struggling to get the unification done because of a technical hurdle. So like for Quorum, with Quorum, you import your Farcaster seed phrase. That's a design choice that Cassie made. I didn't want to make that same design choice for Juke. So I was struggling to get the spaces unified across to Juke because in order to actually listen, create, and participate in what we're doing right now, you have to send a certain header in the API request. So basically, you have to like have a little code for people that are maybe not technical. You have to have a little code in your request that basically says this person who's making the request is the person they say they are. So like Zal is creating this space and it's not like a hacker. It's not just some random spam. It really is him doing it, right? But in order to create that string of characters, you need to sign a message with your custody wallet, which is the wallet you get when you create your username on Farcaster. But as you probably know, you can't sign you can't sign a message with that wallet because your wallet on Farcaster is the warplet. So you end up in a situation where you don't. I was just hamstrung. I had no way of doing this without forcing the user to import their seed phrase, which I didn't want to do. So I reached out to Rish and reached out to Manon, and they just implemented a way for me to for any dev, not just me, to do a handshake between clients. So now you can sign a message specifically for audio spaces and create and engage and participate in audio spaces from any client. These mofos are cracked and they're super receptive to feedback. Like that took a day, dude. Like I reached out like late last week on Friday or whatever. By
And so
Monday or
what was the
Tuesday, it was
technical
done.
implementation that they did to not need you to need to sign a message from the custody wallet? Is it just like some other signer?
Yeah, so you know how when you sign in from like any other non-Farcaster app and you have to like bounce over to Farcaster and it's like press and hold
Okay, one
to
of the things
confirm or
I'm
whatever.
confused about is the press and hold versus the tap to sign in. Do you understand the difference in those? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm very high vibe on my coding side and low on the like actually understanding the back end. So like again, if I wanted to spend the time towards it, I feel like I could talk to the AI and figure it out. But like someone who's experienced that and actually probably knows a little bit more, I'd love to know a little bit more of if you know like that explanation or why that's there.
Yeah, I think it's just a design choice. Like press and hold. I don't know, maybe it feels like you're really
But
confirming
it's the
something.
same thing.
It's basically the same
Okay.
thing. When you do that handshake between the apps, it's and maybe the press and hold just gives you the opportunity to change your mind because when you register your signer with another app, it can then cast on your behalf, right?
But are there not
Um,
multiple types of signers? Like that's where I thought it was like one might be like a read only or only these things, and then one's a heavier signer. That's kind of what I assumed.
right. Well, that was the problem, right? So like when you just do a sign in with Farcast or a sign in with Nanar Flow, you do register a signer for that client and it can do whatever you approve it to do, whether that just be read only or sometimes you have to then go through the approval step where it's like
Yes,
approve this
exactly.
client to do whatever. So what they've done here is they've expanded that capability so that when you press it, when you do the handshake again, which if you start a new space from Juke, you'll have to go through that handshake briefly. When you press and hold, it is registering the signer that you already have registered with Juke, to also have this capability of not just casting, not just liking and commenting and things like that, but also now sending the bearer token across to Farcaster's API and enabling you to start and participate in a space. It's just an expansion of an existing primitive, essentially.
I love it. That's really cool. I see we got Joseph Goetz up on the stage. What up? We had an awesome conversation yesterday talking about artists in this on-chain world. Had a ZABAL Games workshop, one of the first of the artist track. My goal is to have 3 different kind of topics of conversation, one being the artist, one being the builder, and one being the creator. The 3 ABCs of the ZAO, the artists being a bunch of the musicians and artists that are out here, the builders being all the devs and prospective builders, and then the creators are all the people supporting with the media side. And I think this conversation around how to distribute audio and how people have done it for the last 4 or 5 years in crypto, and how the biggest thing that I've loved about Farcaster as a whole has always been composability. And now for the fact that Nick is joining in from Juke, someone else could be joining in from Quorum. I'm over here from the Farcaster app with the rest of you guys. That to me is the coolest unlock of the ability to have this back end that connects with so many different front ends and being able to like, okay, explain this is a use case that this gives now. But yeah, what's up?
I was gonna say I wish Uno was still working because I would have loved to see how they fucking implemented, like how they would implement spaces in their system, but they just like I don't think they ever left beta. They just like decided to stop.
Uno was so goated. It was such a great client.
Can you guys tell
So
me
smooth.
why? Okay, this is perfect because I didn't get it. I've asked many times to get an invite and I never got one, but it was probably like near to the end. What are the reasons? Because I'm trying to build a client that is going to essentially be token gated with my community token. So it's like our community hub for using the Farcaster protocol, but also for leveraging our community. And I'm trying to bring the pros of different clients into what I've built and open source it so that anyone can use it for any client. So I'm curious to hear what your guys' feedback on like, what were the reasons that it made it a goated client?
I mean, the UI was just so fucking gorgeous. It was like it was kind of like looking at like an Apple product, and then having like Firecaster. Like, I don't get me wrong, I loved the Firecaster UI too, except for the fucking that one button that was there that's been removed. But that was just like the shot showed all the rugs. It's like, oh yeah, everyone's losing all this money on this fucking button or whatever. Anyways, the UI and like it was like using a glass, like Apple glass, or sorry, liquid glass, but it was kind of skeuomorphic too. And yeah, it was really nice. It you also used the same way you log into Quorum, so you would have to go in with your seed phrase. And I think that's one of the main reasons why they didn't release it to the public, because not everyone wanted. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah,
And then
I think
go
it was
ahead.
like, they were, first of all, I agree the design was like really well done. Like image, it started as an image focused thing, if I'm not mistaken. It was almost trying to be like the Instagram client for Farcaster, and I know they expanded upon that. But like I think they just got too caught in the weeds of being like super perfect with everything. Perfection is sort of the enemy of completion or whatever. I forget what the what the quote is, but I think that they just got hung up on trying to make everything too perfect. And then like so much started changing with Farcaster towards the end of the Merkle tenure that it started to become sort of untenable to build a client that was, because they're VC funded, right? So they have to at some point make money. So, and they probably just didn't see the path to that with all the sort of haphazard changes toward the end there.
No, I didn't realize Uno was VC funded.
Yeah.
I thought Christopher said it was like he reached out to a bunch of his friends, but I guess it makes sense that his friends were VCs.
Yeah.
I would love
Helpful.
to, since Jose made it to the stage, let's see if we can get an open mic from Jose. What up, Jose? How you doing? I would love to hear your thoughts on, everything we talked about yesterday, the conversation, and all the fun things and reasons why you're out here on Farcaster. Hopefully, yeah, there we go.
Hey, yeah, and hello to everybody. I have been listening to the conversation and composability. It's definitely promising, especially right now that we have like this set of automation tools. And I get to know through Nick now that we had that client, Farcaster client, like integration with Farcaster Spaces, which I think it's awesome. Because through my perspective as a digital street musician, these spaces are great for digital street busking and interact with audiences and storytelling. On Twitter, I don't know certainly how the algorithm works with spaces. Sometimes they just look like you don't seem to see non-spaces. I don't know how it works, but on Farcaster, at least with the like the community we have, I think that it's a number that it remains organic at the moment. And I think that the other magic word will be scalability.
See, I mean the live stream. This is why I should have started it on Juke, and I will next time. I love that. Thank you for coming in and saying that, Nick, because I completely forgot. But the scaling factor, I think, is one of the biggest challenge like crypto apps period have had, other than like degen apps, right? Like one of the other things I want to talk about is Kenny killing it with Poid and everything that they're doing, and Pump.Fun creating a very similar thing to this like Dare market that was out before, and what Kenny is doing being a permissionless tool that anyone can use to create and claim bounties versus a very centralized Pump.Fun towards the negative energy that's out there on the internet and monetizing around that. And I think that's one of the coolest things that's been for me about Farcaster is just like the ability to find in like this quote unquote rough internet, and like as I've said, dead internet theory of like there's all these infinite bots out there that are talking to you. Where can you find your cozy corner to know and trust that some of the information that you're getting is from a source that you know more about than that just like immediate first interaction? And I think that's one of the cool things about Farcaster is it's still small enough. I actually think, and I'm coming back to this, I swear, I actually think, Jose, scalability, and this I don't remember who it was on the Nanar team, but I told someone on the Nanar team, my opinion is don't try and solve the problem that Merkle is trying to solve, which is scalability. Lean into the developer heavy fact that people like Nick, people like me, people like Bribe, all three of us have built clients, and Jose is, interning for me with a scholarship that we're going to definitely build a client for Jose that's music based and let him go crazy and wild with it. But all four of us are building clients for our own cozy corners. Instead of trying to bring everyone to this app, we need to bring everyone the toolkit necessary that they can bring this app to their community. They can build their front end and they could learn about decentralization and not also have it fully tied to Farcaster, but be able to benefit from that social graph that's there. So that's what I think is the solution to the scalability problem, is instead of trying to scale many people to one app for XYZ reason, product market fit, use developers as your product market fit to create apps for you on the protocol, kind of like what Blue Sky wanted to do, right? Like in that sense, but to a completely different degree, right? So as we all know. Yeah, 98% of the internet is bots now. Shout out music. That's super accurate, right? Like a majority of the volume, at least, for sure. And that's why in the Farcaster ecosystem, when oh, perfect, Jose, what's up? Feel free to interrupt me. Sorry, guys. I'll
Oh,
continue to ramble.
yeah. I was going to say that internet theory was something that I was exploring through the biggest horror YouTube channel in Spanish, which is Dross Rotzank. He made great content, and I can't remember how much time ago, but he was sharing all of this, and that was before artificial intelligence. And when artificial intelligence started, I started thinking again about that concept and how real it became. So definitely, content curation becomes a first necessity thing. Like our digital curation becomes maybe uh, somewhat the digital oral tradition that you are able to share with future generations about what the healthy internet looked like. And um, yeah, also I think it's great for independent journalism, and for, yeah, basically like looking to be censorship resistant platforms. I don't know how much of that Farcaster is looking to solve, but it's one of the potentials of blockchain technology and Web3 as a standard. It has that potential, and I think it's great for content, especially not having a centralized like TV channel. Like with the coming of this technology, everybody has a TV show now.
I want to go back to something that you said, Zal, which is about sort of the strategic thing. Like there is, I was just looking today at the metrics between Mastodon and Farcaster, and this is crazy. Mastodon has like, well, it's hard to say because it's all like federated and the various clients are all like super decentralized and there's all these servers, but the estimate is that there's like 10.5 million Mastodon users. 10.5 million Mastodon users. So like to me, the thesis of decentralized social is 100% validated. I think giving up on that was a massive mistake, frankly. And I think you're right, Zal. The reason Mastodon crushes is because they have pretty much fully opened their protocol. So like you can sign up for free, and it's kind of on the client devs to deal with things like spam and whatnot, which Farcaster is miles ahead on that stuff. But the protocol, like the base level of Mastodon, is just a federated, decentralized infrastructure stack. So like you can build whatever, wherever, with no permissions. There's like still a lot of sort of rigidity in the Farcaster protocol, and I think that's the quorum's kind of been trying to solve. But if they just shift focus to making it super simple for people to build whatever they want and build these, as Dan used to call them, cozy corners on Farcaster, that they'll attract a massive amount of people, because that's really what we want. I don't want to be on Twitter and shout into the void. I want to be on Farcaster and talk to my friends and like the people that I talk about books, movies, TV shows, and like have real deep discussions about shit on this platform. I don't have any of that on X. It's all vapid, dead internet crap that doesn't go anywhere and really is just like people farming for engagement. Like there's I don't know. I'm gonna rant.
No, that's amazing. There's a moment. Okay, so I have my mic unmuted here so that I don't accidentally talk while I'm muted here on the live. But I said clip that at some point during that. You said something that I loved. Oh, I don't want to talk. I don't want to be on Twitter. I want to talk to my friends here on Farcaster. That part. One of the ideas I was thinking about, and you two are really smart, and you could help me build this, especially with what we've been talking about specifically, Nick. So what I want in my AI agent idea that is something that I want to spend the effort and energy and time building, so I haven't like acted on it yet, is I want a lot of people have built like different transcription and media bots. I want a bot to join live, see all of the different speakers and all of the different listeners and capture their details, right? Then be able to capture who's speaking and their intonations, right? As opposed to just a transcript. And I said, clip that like out loud. It would be really cool to me if we could, with the power of the emerging space that we're in, be in at such a point. My thing that I always focus on is how quickly can we go from an idea to execution and shorten that as much as possible. So if we just like, let's literally say Nick said that and continued to rant, and I said clip that while I was muted here but like on the live, and we had our bot, okay, like now it's going through, taking and analyzing, right, like the last 5, 10, 15, 30 seconds, a minute, and grabbing that capture, and then maybe it's gonna, make that video and spawn it to a point where like I can preview that and submit that of like, we are currently live, this is what we're talking about, and like here is a clip that like most people in when they create media and clips are doing it post-production. And I think it'd be really cool to do it live. Sorry, I don't know if we had an idea, we were talking about something before, but
that's sick. I love that idea. You could crush with that, honestly. Like, I feel like there's a huge clipping movement right now.
Yeah,
so
everyone and their mom is talking about clipping, and my biggest thing, and I've always been the motto I've lived by is one of Earl Nightingale. He talks in his Strangest Secret about not conforming, and to me, that's just like so much of like that is what everyone's talking about. That is the like drop shipping of today, right? And that, not that that's not the way in to do it with content creation, but I think there is like, that's so saturated that what's the level up from that? And it's not just like anyone from anywhere clipping and just paying people based on engagement, because that's all anyone is doing, and engagement being solely likes, comments, retweets, right? But leveraging something like the social capital and graph of Farcaster and things like what Ali had created with influence and what other people are creating, where there's actually more data to who is adding value to your post or getting value from a post. One of the things I really liked about I'm forgetting whose app it was specifically, was the idea is that when you're spending money on ads, it's going to real people in the Farcaster network that is like all being split between them. If I spend $10 on a Facebook ad and I spend $10 on a Farcaster ad, and that's split by 10 people each getting $1, I'm a lot personally as like, I want to spend money on small businesses as like an individual in this day and age in the US and in this capitalistic society. That's where I think my money goes a lot longer and farther into places that I see it more. And in that case, there's so much kind of value in how can we do that? So yeah, I don't know what my point was. I have ideas. I'm trying to write them all down and capture them. So this is why I love spaces like these, where there's other people listening in, and maybe some random thought that we just have is something that someone gets inspired by, right? So that's the goal here with the ZABAL Games, is to capture all of these amazing conversations, put it up on a transcript on the website so that we can level up with some of these things we're talking about. And maybe, the three of us were talking about some very technical stuff. One of the things I might want to do at some point is go through and do like a little vocab or like extra info page on that transcript page on some of those conversations we were having. So we could have like a little tidbit, like comment thing, right? So trying to level up. Everyone check out the ZABALGames.com. That would be much appreciated. I'm not going to lie. Check it out with your AI. Like, that's what I'd prefer you do. People have told me it looks nice. I don't think it does, but the reason I've created it is to be scraped by AI. That is the ultimate goal, is pointing your harness at it and leveling up in the context that you get by having content and brand information and then projects and guidelines all up publicly for people to collaborate on. But you better not clip my mom. That's hilarious. And then build a clipper and make it for agents too. Yeah, because like what the point is, like you create an infrastructure and a skill that you could just like have anyone pull up, right? And that is where like the proliferation of development tooling with AI agents is the tokenization of today of like, okay, you could whip out a token and a bunch of people will come. Like if I rename this or we started a new one that was just like, we're launching a token, right? There would be more people in here potentially. And I think that of today, like actually getting that and actually having value of that is having an agentic skill that might use your workflow or your token or your protocol. And by putting it out there into the internet and having other people try and use this development workflow you're using, you're actually bringing people to where you want people to click. Essentially, you're creating that distribution. So, yeah. But we lost Nick. Yeah. Oh, here. Let me invite him up if he wants to come back up. But it is at the about 50-minute mark. I don't know how you're feeling, Mr. Bribe. I don't know how you're feeling, Mr. Joseph Goats. But I want to play the song. I need to figure out how to do it though. So
Sure.
give me a
Play
moment,
this song.
and you should say some words.
Do you think we should tell them what we did the first time I met you in real
That's
life?
hilarious. Yeah, go for it. Actually, that's perfect. That'll give me enough time.
Do you think everyone here deserves to know?
Yeah. No, this I mean it's squad. It's squad here. We got a lot
I
of
mean,
awesome people.
also,
It's
also it's been 2 years, so
well,
like
it's
no one.
also the old administration, right? Like, what's the statute of limitations?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's a statute of limitations on shit like this. So
Well, that's the beauty of Web3 is nothing is written down anywhere in contract. So that's kind of the problem too with like, and that's why I like Farcaster. I feel like it's a little bit more professional of an ecosystem in that respect.
right. So 2 years ago, around this time, actually a month ago, 2 years ago, a month ago, it was FarCon New York, and Humpty was hosting the Creator House, and that's where I met Zal. And then afterward, and then the next day, there was the actual event, but Zal did not have a ticket. And he was like stressing out. He's like, "Oh shit, how am I gonna get in or whatever?" So I sent him a PDF of my ticket so he could Photoshop or whatever because they weren't really like scanning them. And then so I snuck him in, and then I went up to the thing where they were passing out the badges. And I'm like, "Hey guys, I dropped my lanyard. Can I have a new lanyard?" So I had it. So they gave me a little new lanyard, and then I gave that to Zal. There was no badge because he didn't have a ticket, but he managed to get in. It was dope. It was sad because they didn't let Max Jackson let it go in because someone's told security he did not have a ticket, and like they were really on him about it. But it was funny. It was fucking hilarious. It was funny that the fact that Zal made it, and I think I still have the Photoshop ticket he sent, which makes it even funnier. But yeah, it was a fun time. It's also the same time I met Jackie.
Very cool. Okay, I got this song. I don't know if you guys have been in the spaces, but you have probably seen the homie Man. He's been absolutely cooking and killing it. He is the Zao intern, and he's creating some bangers for the Zao. And this is honestly one of the most excited I've been about a song. He absolutely killed it with it, and I'm excited to share with you guys because
Did I get kicked off? No, I did not get kicked off.
Can you hear me?
Cool. Zal, you still here?
Can you guys hear me? Joe?
Also, shout out Symbiotech. Love you, dude. Glad you're here. Shout out Billy Flint. I have not met you, but I will follow you. And shout out Jabatoshi. You're dope.
Test. Test.
Hope all of you guys are having a good day.
I think that maybe we just lost Saul. I was hearing you. Yeah, Saul just arriving.
Okay, so I need to figure out my mic permissions. Please, Farcaster, when and if you hear this, because it'll come through somewhere, and I'll probably cast about it. Let me change what my mic input is. That is the most frustrating thing with these audio spaces. Is like I just want to pick what mic input is coming in, please and thank you, because I don't want to refresh this to redo it, and that's the challenge that we're at right now. But I got the song up. I'm really excited about this. If you guys have been around the Farcaster ecosystem the last few weeks since Spaces started, you may have noticed that iMan Africa has been cooking it, killing it on the DJing side. This is the most excited I've been about a song. He made it for me and the Zao, and I'm super stoked to continue making more music with him and cooking and killing it. He's actually been developing and working as the Zao intern and getting us out there more. So excited to have him cooking on the music side and to share this with you guys. So here we go.
Yeah. Better cause out. Got a big build on your mind. Better cause out. Need the right team by your side. Better cause.
I realize I can't. I have to fix the mic. That was what I did. Okay, I'll be back. Let me reload. I'm gonna try it.
He's gone. Let's talk shit about it, guys. JK, we all love Zav. But yeah, Jackie, it has been 2 years. They had a whole other Farcon. In a whole other fucking country.
Yeah, 2 years is crazy.
Dude, yeah.
Damn. Now it's coming out of my webcam. Guys, I'm sorry. Should I disable my webcam too? Oh, wait, can I pick it from here? Samson. Refresh. We're going to try one more time. Okay. Test. How's it sound now?
Nah, I hear you. I think it sounded better in the past.
You know what? Maybe we'll save this for the how about now? Is this the right mic? I can't tell. But honestly, we're hitting up.
I think so because I heard noise coming from it when you touch it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna play the song. We're gonna get out of here. If you guys have any last things you want to say, feel free to say it, unless people like have a bunch of questions or anything. I do have a lot of ideas for audio spaces that we need to continue rocking out, but I want to start the next one from Juke. So we got a bunch of things happening tonight in an hour and a half. In 90 minutes, I'm going live with Will T in Web3 from KF Media. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about KF Media and building KF Media as part of the creator track. And then we have at 8:30 our Wave Wars last semifinals battle of our AI music tournament. So I'm excited for that as well. It's going to be a crazy battle between Geek Myth and Ken and Jones. So two of the awesome musicians that have been coming in and supporting Wave Wars, and excited to see what they bring tonight. But do you guys want to share anything?
Yeah, dude, it was a pleasure. Always a pleasure to hang out with you guys. Yeah, let's do more spaces. I want to be able to have like to pin casts on here when we're speaking so that we could like people could artists can like post their art, and we could like do
Yeah.
like do pairings for them and be like, oh yeah, dude, I feel like this piece would go nice with, you know, a Chardonnay and a nice Gorilla Glue 4 joint, or, you know, stuff like that, you know.
I like it. Yeah, I'm exploring spaces also for digital street music, so it can be good also to like post the different like music NFTs or share like pieces of the journey. I think that's a great implementation.
Yeah, other than that, love you all. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. I also want to do a meditation space at one point. But yeah.
I'm gonna play these two songs, maybe. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to ask. But this is the song that we're gonna be trying to start sharing out here a little bit more. I'm in Africa Cooked with this Better Call Saul song, so I hope you enjoy it.
Got a wild dream you wanna
Fuck,
chase.
I need to restart. Sorry.
Better call out. Got a big build on your mind. Better call out. Need the right team by your side. Better call out. Got a wild dream you wanna chase. Better call out. Yeah, better call out. Yeah, better call out. Put it up, bid it up, out. Set it out, ship it out now. Engineer, turn the vision to a route. From Maine to Africa, whole network figured out. When the builders need a builder, that was all be all about. Got a problem, better calls out. Need a founder, better calls out. Need connections, better calls out. Everything down, better calls out. Go, bring the honors round. Wave wars, hear the sound. Builders out, dog, from the ground. Ecosystem, gather round. Yeah, we been working, work through the night. RIT engineer, getting everything right. Robotics project automation. $1,000,005. Yeah, you heard me say $1,000,005. Building future. Better call out. You need a launch? Better call out. You need a team? Better call out for anything. Better call out. Keep it moving, keep it going, keep it strong. Open source repos all day long. Builder, connector, putting people on. That's the reason everybody sing along. Better call out. Engineer, builder, speed down. Better call out. Community leader with a style. Better call out. Need it done right with a smile. Better call out. Check, making things connect, build every project disrespect, make every move collect, turning ideas to a business, that's a bet, 100, keep it rolling still, 100 meetings, 100 plans, 100 bills, 100 deals, better call out, yeah, better call out, yeah, better call out, yeah, that's for real.
This is the ZABAL.
So yeah, I appreciate I-Man for cooking up with that one. He killed it.
That was a nice fucking song, dude. You should send it to me so I could make make some visuals on that.
I love it. Let's do it up.
Fuck yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate people for popping in today. This is phenomenal. We'll do this more. I built something. My first mini app actually was my first proper mini app was this little like ZAL voting mini app where anyone could come in. They were automatically signed in with Farcaster and they could vote on what I would stream later on today. It'd be really cool to do that with the space. Be like, okay, like we have this open space, community can vote with this token today or this NFT today. And like, I think that could be a fun leaderboard to play around with. As we were talking about leaderboards earlier, I definitely need to have a leaderboard session. Like I said, about all of the different leaderboards, including the ZAL leaderboard, which is the first leaderboard I created with the first governance token I created with kind of the central piece to the ecosystem. So And honestly, I need to clean up the documentation on that too. So that's one of my to-dos. Was that an intro or an outro? Banger. You're right. It's both. But I think it was perfect. It's the perfect time for the music side of things. Been playing around in on-chain music for 3 years with all these awesome musicians. I've been playing around with DJing a little bit over the last few months. Shout out to Candy in the building. If you guys aren't following her, which you probably aren't, because she's not crazy active here. She's helping me co-found Wave Wars over on X. She is the one that donated this DJ deck to the ZAO 2.5 years ago, before our first ZAO festival, ZAOpalooza in NFT NYC. She donated it to the team. Adibody used it there for NFT NYC ZAOpalooza. And then 6 months later, we did ZAOcella at the end of the year at Art Basel, which was a blast. We got all of the on-chain music community together. And from that, we've been able to kind of keep leveling up. And I'm actually planning an event here in Maine in October 3rd. Bribe. That's another thing I want to chat with you about at some point, maybe offline, as well as the fact that you should definitely schedule a workshop, because that'd be a lot of fun too. So yeah, I had a point. But ZAO festivals, we're doing that. And oh yeah, and now I've got it since the ZAO festival, since Adibody sent it up here. So it's been like very well used, and it was a well received donation to the ZAO. So shout out to Candy, because it's been a lot of fun to play with this deck. Maybe I'll play one more song, because this Onaji song that Iman made is a heater as well. How did it sound? It couldn't have sounded that good. That's the issue I have, is like Iman's actually perfected it a lot better, but I would love to like dive into what like, yeah, I mean, just like let me pick what audio input. I think that's the biggest thing. Better clip Zal. That's hilarious. I actually like that. That's good. But how was the sound? Out of curiosity. Good audio on AirPods? Okay, I'll take it. Sorry, I said I was gonna go, but again, I have to play this song. It's a heater, and we're here in the on-chain music space. Okay. Hearing nothing, I'm gonna just take good audio. I saw the 100. So yeah, shout out Candy. That's why I said that story. That's the DJ deck is all her. And then Iman's also sent me a bunch of tribe base to play around with the DJ deck as well. So I might do that a little bit. I need a code here. That's why I said I was gonna go. So might do a little bit of that. Feel free to ask questions, chat a little bit. I might stop the live as well. But yeah, next time we'll definitely be over on Juke, but you could still join here. That's the beauty of this composable world. So this is the Onaji song. Shout out Onaji, absolute goat. Here we go.
It's great. Pure Onaji. Yeah. Let go. Let's do it. All right, okay. All right, okay. Yeah. Twitch notification hit on my phone. Oh, now you going live, we go vibe out, I know. I text my nigga, he gon' find me on that call. Party on chain, and my G say, where you at? I say, Onaji, 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 yeah. Onaji, 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 yeah. Onaji, 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 yeah. 200 saw me on the call. You spoke for a moment. You know how I go, but they all came for me. I weren't looking at all. Girl, I'm at the party. They like, tell me where it's at. I say, Onaji, 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 yeah. Onaji, 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 okay. Onaji, 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 okay. Onaji, 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 Glad y'all have me on cam now. Been a while, throw a little game out. He said it all, I just got a bank call. I share the call like bro, gotta share the goal. Onaji, 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 yeah. Onaji, 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 okay. Onaji, 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 I say, Onaji, 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 I said, too fine, honey, watch me right on the street. They look for a homie like a hotline and shit. Put a ball on me like, whoa, they ain't that deep. Where the boy they is? I'm like, girl, who you mean? They said, Onaji, Onaji. Who knew Twitch would get lit like this? Bads going wild out like this. Whole community, full vibes out here. I holla Zao and tell him I'm having a good time out here. Oh yeah. I just say, how you doing? Hear them say, y'all chillin' with Onachi. I just said, link up Santana, tell him throwing her the beat. Make it clap for me like applauding this beat. When it played, I was like, hold up, that's it. It make the bad, it's like, where we going? Here we go! Heard you say, how you doing? Hit him say, y'all chillin' with Onachi.
That was I-Man. I'm gonna play one more song by him because it's related. Alright, so I-Man Africa is gonna be performing on Saturday in one of our ZAO projects called the COC Concerts. It's a collaboration with the COC, the Community of Communities out there, absolutely killing it, absolutely cooking. We're excited to do this live stream with I-Man and team using the COC Concerts. So this song is by I-Man as well, and it's the COC song, concert anthem. So I hope you enjoy it.
Right around 5 in the metaverse. Yeah, look at God Cloud up on stage and he killing it. Holla Santana, throw another beat. Yeah, look at God Cloud, how he put the soul in me. So I pull a paper in there, pen in my other hand, put together wordplay, and I holla at on man. I've been low profile for a ring. Time for all air. Tell the city that I'm finna tell them what it is. I'm at the COC. I'm in the metaverse, flying in a place to be. I'm in the COC. Y'all gotta join me, hanging in a place to be. I'm in the OC. I told my friend I'm in a place to be. I'm talking COC. I'm in the metaverse, chilling in a place to be. Ain't nobody paying none. Cost only vibes, man. You never mind to come back. Chilling in here, golden, never or no lag. When it starts to start, and it go. We all wish they ain't no statter or fellow who cut in front of. Chilling right on where you wanna, no one here to stop all. I'm looking at Zao from a mile, all I say is wow. He look at me bad, he like wow, got clout going wild. COC, Thigh Rev, and he told me it's the place to be. I'm in a COC. We in the music metaverse, the best place to be. I holla still metaverse padrino. 2 shouts has to go out to the homie Ken Tranquilo. Pushing music to the metaverse until we hear it. Community of community, shouts to you, Patron. Yeah. See development now. It's because of mine that built. Shouts goes to them for helping prepare the new world. Should've called them all out, but I swear the day's gonna end. The community of communities, and it all comes back to one. I mean that COC. Man, shout out Zao, shout out Z3, Thigh Revolution, Miss EV, shout out Rose, and the whole community. What a time to be alive, man. I'm at the COC concert.
So I appreciate you guys for being here, joining in. Join us Saturday, COC Concerts. Later tonight, Will T. Tomorrow, we got a meeting at the Whip. Gonna chat ZABAL Gamez Friday, chatting with Adam Miller from MeDAO, bringing a DAO to the Marshall Islands, and then Cassie after as well, which will be really exciting. So lots of fun things happening this week. Feel free to shoot me a message if you ever want to host the space and have me as a co-host, to have I-Man pop in, play some music. yeah, we vibe. Let's keep cooking, Farcaster. Thanks for joining me and everyone here. Cheers.